Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Carl Alston from People's Resource Center, and I'm happy to talk to you today about a couple of very important programs that we offer here at the People's Resource Center, and those are adult learning and literacy and computer training. And to help with those programs, I would like to introduce you to Nellie Van Buskirk, who is our adult learning and literacy um, director, and Amy Zurita, who is our adult computer training manager, computer literacy manager, I think is the official title. But anyway, hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Good. Hi, good afternoon.
Good. Hey, first I wanted to talk a little bit about the literacy program in general. So, Nellie, if you can start, please let us know what the overall purpose of the program is and whom do we serve and kind of how.
Right. So I guess first off, the department is called the Adult Learning and Literacy Department, and in the department we have two programs that we're going to be talking about, and that's the literacy program and the computer training program. For the literacy program, we serve adult learners who primarily are looking for either one-on-one tutoring or group tutoring in many areas. Our biggest program is the English Second Language program. We have adult learners that want to study for their citizenship test, pre-GED, and or try to acquire their GED. And then we also do a lot of group work, specifically in English conversation circles.
Okay, and so in general, with our literacy program, what kind of what kind of needs are we addressing? I mean, what as far as people who are come to PRC to you know get involved with that program, what are we trying to do for them?
Well, obviously, the main purpose is to engage and empower our adult learners to meet whatever their specific learning goal is in the areas that I mentioned. So a lot of the learners are trying to acquire English skills, improve their English skills so that they can communicate better in this country, probably acquire upskill and reskill so that they can acquire a better job through their literacy skills. So it really all depends. I mean, the main difference with our program is that we address the individual learning goals of the student. So we find out what their short-term and long-term goals are in learning in that either in English second language or basic education, and we meet them where they're at, and they work with a tutor to meet whatever goal they have.
Well, it's good to know that a person is showing up at the PRC isn't necessarily going to be put into a strict this is the program, you got to do it this way. It's good that we come to deal with people from where they're at, from how they're coming to us. So I think that's pretty helpful to folks. I don't know if you've noticed, but the world has been involved with a pandemic for the last year and a half or so. What have we done differently with these programs to meet the needs of our clients?
Well, pretty much everything. So we had to overnight convert all our programs that were in person. So students would meet with their tutors in person at either one of the PRC locations or some of our partner sites. And overnight, we had to train tutors and students to move all of their learning onto a virtual platform. So we had to find out what technology access students and tutors had. We trained them to use various platforms like Zoom or WhatsApp or whatever it was they had. Some just literally did tutoring just using the good old-fashioned telephone. So we had to do a lot of training. We had to convert our resources. Resources had to be used, online. So So pretty much we went from an in-person program to a complete online virtual program.
Yeah, well, I think that's great because hopefully, well, I don't know about hopefully, but I'm sure we're probably seeing a little bit more activity in the last year or so than we perhaps did previously because, while the pandemic has kind of kept everybody inside, the need for these skills, remained. So to be able to offer them, in this way, I think is good and important for people. And do you think that we will get back to live activity, or is it pretty much going to stay virtual? Or, well, I guess at this point in the world, we've got to stay virtual to some degree, right?
Right. Well. Actually, the thing we learned was that even when we are going to go back in person, I mean, there's a huge desire for that, and but what we have learned is that we will also be keeping a virtual component because we are catering for students that we weren't actually catering as well before because of transportation issues or childcare issues or the flexibility of a schedule to meet at different times with a tutor that they can, schedule that. So we've learned a lot this year, and moving forward, we want to keep both an in-person and a virtual platform so that we can help as many members of the community that require our services.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
that's great. I think I'm going to provide a link in the comments section for you who are following us on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm going to put a link in there right now for you to be able to find our programs. It's a general link to our website, and if you hover over services there, you will be able to find our adult literacy program and the next program that we're going to talk about, which is our computer training program. So, Amy, tell me, what is that program all about?
So our computer training program, similar to what Nellie said, we had to kind of shift with the pandemic. Pre-pandemic, we were offering Intro to Computers, Windows Fundamentals, as well as Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, plus some others. With everything being virtual right now, it's a little bit different. So we haven't been able to get back yet to Intro to Computers or Windows Fundamentals. Those will be first on the list when we do get back in person. But the computer training classes are available for adults all throughout DuPage County. As I said, they're all virtual right now. So they meet once a week for 90 minutes on Zoom for 6 or 7 weeks, depending on the class. And we also have certification classes that are available. They're a little more involved, but those are another option that are just really, really great. The classes are, as I said, we help people across the board from the very basics to really just digging deep to just kind of solidify your knowledge in these different programs.
Yeah, that certification program sounds pretty cool. So that's not, or actually, I guess you can tell me, the certification program is for all of the Microsoft services, or is it for each individually, or both?
So the certification, so it's called the Microsoft Office Specialist Certification Classes. You'll hear it called MOS. So if I say MOS, that's what I'm talking about. But we offer it in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint 2019. So we actually are just freshening up the curriculum to do 2019 instead of 2016. We also have a self-study option. So the certification classes, when you do the regular certification classes, they meet twice a week for 90 minutes. Those ones are for 5 or 6 weeks, depending on the class. And the self-study option allows students to kind of start at any time. So even if they maybe missed the deadline for one of the classes and they really want to take it, don't want to wait until the next offering, they can kind of jump in whenever. One of the nice things too with the self-study is that it also you'll have instructor access. So you're not just kind of left on your own hoping you or answering your own questions. If you get stuck along the way, you can still reach out to the instructors. So it's a really good option, even more flexible for people who have that kind of extra drive to kind of self-guide their studies. yeah, it's a really, really good one. I did the Excel one and I learned a lot. So it's a great
Yeah.
class.
Oh, this is great. So, not only can you pick up the specific skill that you're interested in, whether it's Word or Excel or PowerPoint, you can go through a certification program and be certified for all of them. And then you can put that on your resume, or just have those skills in your back pocket. So for your next position, you are in the know. Not only can you do the work that you've got to do, you can probably train others and all that. That's great. I think that is a very cool option. So, um, I wanted to ask because I think that the computer training programs involve a little bit more as far as getting started with the program. So, can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, so we do need students to have the technology requirements for the classes. So to get started, definitely go to the website. Like you mentioned earlier, Carl, you can go on there under services to computer training. There'll be a link to our interest form. So that'll be the first step. It's a pretty short form. It's just going to ask a couple technology access questions. And then once we view the responses, we'll follow up with the next steps. We have students do a short little Windows assessment just to make sure that they'll be comfortable with the online classes. And then basically from there, then you're ready to jump into classes. So we do have classes starting the week of October 11th. So check out our schedule. And those are the regular Word, Excel, PowerPoint classes. As a side note, I forgot to mention, we also have one-on-one support available by appointment. So that's another one that we started offering during the pandemic. So this is a really great option for students who maybe aren't quite ready to take the Word, Excel, PowerPoint classes. Maybe it's just little one-off questions. Somebody's, working on a resume and they're having trouble with the formatting in the Word document, or somebody maybe wants to kind of buff up their security on their Gmail account or something. So if you have any little one-off questions, that's definitely a good thing. We have a separate link through PickTime to book an appointment. You can kind of see what instructor availability there is. So Carl, I can get you that link as well to share.
Yeah. I did share the link with everybody in your comments section for the computer training program. If you don't see that link again in your comment section, you can always go to the People's Resource Center website, hover over services, and you can click on computer training or click on adult learning and literacy, and you can find out more information about both of those. In fact, I am going to add to the comments section the link for the adult learning and literacy programs too, so you'll be able to go right to them right away. So one thing that is very true about People's Resource Center in general, and these programs in particular, is the need for volunteers. So Nellie, I wanted to ask you if you could tell me about how you or in the program use volunteers and how people can find out more.
Absolutely. Well, actually, for both programs, there would be no program if it wasn't for the volunteers. Volunteers for both literacy and computer training are volunteers that are trained to either tutor for the literacy program or to provide the actual classes and instruction for computer training. So for literacy specifically, tutors have to do a 12-hour training program. We've partnered with an organization in Chicago to provide our training during the pandemic because it can be done online. So it's a 12-hour basic education tutor training program, and they can either select the English second language option or they can select the adult basic education option. It's done over a course of 2 weeks, but it's very flexible. You don't have to do it continuously over 2 weeks. Each week comprises of a 4-hour online self-study component, and then you do a 2-hour live session with the trainers. They also provide an awful lot of wonderful online resources to help tutors with their tutoring. And then after that, the department, myself and our team, we will support tutors throughout the whole of their tutoring with resources and materials, and answer all the questions they need for their tutoring. I'll let Amy speak about the computer training volunteer.
Yeah, so we're always happy to talk to anyone interested in instructing. We've got, with us having the regular computer training classes and the certification classes, the requirements are slightly different for instructing both of those. General instructing, well, both instructors, I guess I should say, we do ask instructors to complete a short online assessment just to kind of show that you have proficiency in the class that you'd be teaching. We want to make sure if you're teaching Word that you really know what you're talking about with Word. So we would kind of start out with that for either one. Right now, I'm looking more so for certification instructors. So we would kind of start out with that little assessment, and then we would, at that point, if that person was not already certified, we would go through, have them take the certification class and get certified. So that would kind of be what we're looking for that. And then kind of to get started, basically you would just need to fill out the volunteer application on the website, and then we'd kind of work our way toward those bigger steps.
Okay, so that would be great. I wanted to ask a question, considering these programs are pretty popular and pretty successful. I was wondering if either of you or both of you could share one great story in your time at PRC, one little story about how your program has, has helped the public. So either one of you can start with one if you've got one on the top of your head.
I can go first. I think one of the most successful stories, I've only been with PRC for 2 years, but we've had a student who's been with us for, I would say maybe 5 or 6 years. She had very little English, I believe, when she first came to our program, and since then has, mastered English. Then she studied a lot for her TOEFL exam, which is a very intricate exam that international students need to take in the US to pursue college level courses. She was already a pharmacist in her country, so she had to take this exam so that she can pass it to practice pharmaceutical here. So she managed to pass that, and right now she's doing an internship with Walgreens so that she can practice to be a pharmacist in the United States. And I think she's done that all over a course of less than 5 years. And also the success stories that they've purchased a house in the United States. So I think, we really empower our students. It's not just to learn English, it's to acquire, lots of skills and to be, community members. And I think that's a very successful story.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. Come in to try to, pick up a skill, and that skill can sit there and, help you regain your life. If you're a person from a different country and you had success and everything there, then you came here and you need to, master the language and take some tests so you can continue with your passion. I think that is a great story, and that's just just an example of how you can be successful through the PRC. Amy, do you have a story that's sort of like that?
I do. Can I give you two?
You can give me two.
So one of them, we have a student who has been doing our virtual certification classes. She did the Word and Excel guided classes, and then she was one of the first students to do the self-study PowerPoint option. So she got all 3 certifications, and now she is working toward her an IT degree at COD. So she's kind of taken off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's one of them that jumped in my head. But one of my other favorites is and all the more reason, guys, to take these classes. I have another student who has taken the certification classes throughout the pandemic, and she's really, really enjoyed them to the point where she is actually now teaching the classes. So if you're possibly interested in volunteering but aren't sure, come take the classes, see what it's about, and maybe it's for you.
Yeah, I think that is great. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. And thank you so much, ladies, for your time today. We really appreciate it. And again, if you're watching this stream or later, check your comments section. You can find out about our computer training program or our adult literacy program or any of the other things that People's Resource Center does by coming to our website, which is peoplesrc.org. That's peoplesrc.org. So thank you again, ladies. And let me take this opportunity to tell everybody who is watching and listening today that People's Resource Center has been in business since 1975, and we're bringing neighbors closer together to respond to hunger and poverty in DuPage County. Nearly 26,000 residents rely on PRC for help every year. We offer nutritious food and other necessities like rent assistance for neighbors in need. In addition to the computer training classes and the adult literacy classes, we also have a community art program. We have job assistance support and a few other things that you will find all up on our website, so that we can help our neighbors in DuPage County pursue a better life. We provide these programs out of the generosity and support of our neighbors. More than 2,600 volunteers are involved with us to offer their time, their skills, and their resources. Supporters contribute food, they contribute books, we contribute computers, and of course, financial support to help us do what we do. So please, visit our website to learn more. That's at peoplesrc.org, peoplesrc.org. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.